the Brooklyn Nets have been eliminated from the playoffs, but I would say they surprised most when they salvaged their season by finishing sixth in the Eastern Conference. I think at the end of the day, there were zero expectations for the Nets after their monstrous trades. What's next for the Brooklyn Nets?
Unfortunately, it won't be much because they don't have cap flexibility and they're going to be kind of stuck for the next, 4 seasons, I think. And the movement and and the way that they can reconstruct this roster is going to be based off of the draft. And hopefully their second round draft picks will be diamonds in the rough because that's
Mm,
exactly what they are going to have to work with, considering that they don't really have control over their first round draft picks. So it's just, and they don't have much money because they sold the farm when they acquired KD and Kyrie. They just pretty much put themselves in a 4 season hole. Why y'all do that? And then, and I know they did that because they was anticipating that they would be able to win a championship with them too, and they got bamboozled in the end. And here we are now with a team that, although they were top six for this 2023 season, based on how they're constructed, I don't see that happening for the next season. So they'll need to make some moves. I recommend number one that they just go ahead on and sign Cam Johnson. Just go on and sign him. He's going to be a free agent. Sign the man. Make sure he is part of your rotation and part of your core that you'll be building on, along with Mikal Bridges for the future. That's one thing that I would recommend.
okay. Well, they do have Ben Simmons waiting to get back healthy. What? Come on, Ben Simmons can be their catalyst for next season since they don't have, like you said, any cap flexibility. They don't have no picks or whatever in the first round, but they do have Ben Simmons. I'm just going to leave that right there.
And my recommendation for them regarding Ben Simmons, stuck with him with that $78 million contract for the next 2 seasons. He's not going to add value to your roster. We
Mm,
still waiting. We still wait. Oh, so maybe this roster with these young players would probably be what encourages him to play. Ben Simmons, y'all gonna be okay. Okay, Brooklyn. All right.
well, I think what they can do though, with the players that they have who they know who are going to be available, is just continue to develop Nic Claxton. He just needs to get stronger because he got the heart to compete. He's just a little too small right now. He has gotten much bigger from when he first came into the league. So I know that he has it in him. And then I think the biggest mystery with the Brooklyn Nets is Joe Harris. Joe Harris used to be a sniper. What happened to Joe Harris's shot? Did he start training with Duncan Robinson's trainer? I mean, what is going on? Joe Harris. What? I'm serious. You remember Joe Harris being a sniper,
Of
Duncan Robinson the
course.
same.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's why Duncan Robinson got that contract.
Oh,
Good contract turned bad, but he got it nonetheless. But yeah, Joe Harris, I don't know. Maybe with the new regime in Brooklyn Nets with their coach that they'll now have at the top of the season. They play with him at the end of the season. Now we'll have him at the top of the season. They have these pieces that I think can really build up a young, strong Brooklyn Nets team. Maybe he'll show up then because they'll need his veteran presence for sure.
I
So
mean,
maybe they'll show up then. But let me just go back to this Nic Claxton. I agree they need to develop Nic Claxton. But if he can put on at least 30 pounds, I'm
that's
sorry,
it.
if he can put on at least 20 to 25 more pounds,
Yeah, yeah.
because watching him bang up against Joel Embiid
It was painful.
was not was not fair. It wasn't. It had because he got a heart of a big man. Oh, he got the heart. Trust that. If he had the body to go along with it, body structure, I would say, to go along with it, I think, yeah, he'll be a nice piece in the middle. However, I do want them to add another more versatile big man to their roster. More versatile. Because
Okay, okay.
Nic Claxton's skill set is pretty limited when we're thinking about big men like a Joel Embiid, like a Nikola Jokic, those types that can step out. He reminds me a lot, not from a heart perspective, but from a play perspective, similar to what you can get from a Rudy Gobert.
I knew you were going to
Right.
say that.
So so I'm going to need them not to necessarily not have Nic Claxton remain as their starter. I'm fine with that. I want them to have a backup that's a little bit more young, still young, and a little bit more versatile. And I think that that'll help supplement some of the missing pieces that Nic Claxton currently has in this game. So
Okay. That can only help the Brooklyn Nets. I mean,
yeah, totally.
yeah, my last thing is I think they need to establish clear rules. Now, that's a Jacques Vaughn thing, right? I think Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Spencer Dinwiddie, turn them into your big three. I mean, let's see. Is Mike Mikal Bridges option one? Is Spencer Dinwiddie option two? If he is, and he start playing like it. If not, it's Cam Johnson. Let's move forward.
Yeah, I agree. The Brooklyn Nets currently have a nice core that they can build on, right? It's now getting the pieces through the draft because, or maybe someone wants to, come over and help them out and play. Maybe some big name. Okay, anyway, they don't have that, so I think that would really be helpful to them. But I can't wait to see what 2024 looks like for the Brooklyn Nets because they got some nice
Mhm.
pieces. Now, whether or not they'll be top six, it's still questionable for me. So we'll see.
Okay. All right, so let's move to the Minnesota Timberwolves. We're talking about a team that's on the brink of or could be eliminated here very soon from the NBA playoffs. But, when you look at their roster, I think, th- trading Pat Beverly was the worst decision that they made here recently. And also
Look at that.
D'Lo.
Look at that.
Those were some really bad decisions. And I don't like what I'm seeing from the Minnesota Timberwolves right now.
I don't really know what the Minnesota Timberwolves would really look like because currently, as we're watching them in this playoff series, they are missing Nas Reed and Jaden McDaniels. Those are huge pieces to their roster, strong presence that they currently don't have. So, if those two players were actually healthy and able to play, would we be talking a little bit differently about the Wolves?
Well, yeah, when
And
they play the Nuggets with their big lineup, absolutely.
that's what I'm saying. So, I don't know. I'm not certain what type of a. Okay, I agree with the adjustment about Rudy Gobert you mentioned in another video. And I don't know if you'll touch on it in this one here, but I think aside from that, I may be okay with where their roster is constructed. I'm quite sure they'll move some other pieces around, but from the core of it, they actually may be okay. They actually may be okay, but until we see what that looks like long term with Nas
Mhm.
Reed, because Nas Reed was balling.
Oh my goodness,
Are
yes.
you serious? He was balling. Jaden McDaniels, when he went out, we was like, what? So until that, I'm on the fence with them right now.
Okay. Yeah, and so Rudy Gobert, I still believe they do need to take a long, hard look at him. How does he fit with Carl Anthony Towns? And we're talking about Nas Reed. I've been championing him all season
Mhm.
long. And when he was injured right before the playoffs, I said, well, there it is, there it is. And then when Jaden McDaniels punched the wall and injured himself, I said, oh my goodness. And then you had the Rudy Gobert situation with Kyle Anderson. It was just a debacle. And I think they need to look at Rudy Gobert financially because he's the highest paid player right now on the Minnesota Timberwolves. And you're not getting that type of productivity from a Rudy Gobert making $38 million. It's only going to climb up as we get closer and closer to the end of his contract. I mean, can he coexist with Carl Anthony Towns? The thing is, Carl Anthony Towns missed so much time during the season that
Yes.
this was their filling out period.
Yep.
How do they really play together? And I don't like what I'm seeing. I knew it when they traded for Rudy Gobert. I said, oh no, I just don't, I think Rudy just really clogs the middle, and that's where Carl Anthony Towns likes to operate. So I don't know. I don't know. They gave it a good run. They were number 8 in the Western Conference, but they ran up against the best team in the West. And they I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they need to do other than take a hard look at Rudy Gobert fit in his contract. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I would like to see also them consider adding a younger point guard just as a subset backup to Mike Conley. I don't know if what they have is enough. So that's something else to look at. But again, you can't do much with that Rudy Gobert contract.
I'm saying,
So
yeah.
I don't know what they thought they were gonna get. And then why did they trade D'Lo? I'm
I
just
don't
like,
know.
bad moves all around. Unless whatever the moves that they did make, we'll see what the end result will be in the offseason because they have some other plans that haven't been spoken about yet. But right
Mm,
now, no. I can tell you right now, Anthony Edwards, don't waste his time. Don't waste Anthony Edwards' time. And right now, I'm kind of feeling like they're doing that.
yes, and he's stuck.
He's
He's
stuck.
basically stuck.
I know. With all that potential, messing around with Rudy.